Hello class! Today we are going into lesson 4. This lesson has two parts. First, you will learn about food chains, and then you will learn about food webs. As you know, energy is important to the survival of every organism. You've learned that sunlight is a source of energy for plants. This energy, stored in the form of sugar, is passed from plants to other organisms through a food chain. A food chain refers to the flow of energy through a community. All food chains start with the sun and then a producer, which, if you remember, producers are plants. Think about it. The sun helps plants, producers, grow. Then, an animal or insect may eat that plant. After that, the animal or insect may get eaten by another animal. This is a food chain. And you can see an example in the picture on this slide. Imagine you had a glass of milk this morning. What would a food chain look like that includes the milk and ends with you? So think about what comes first in a food chain and then what would come next. Try to picture it in your head. So first you would have the sun, then maybe some grass would be the producers, the cow would eat the grass, and then lastly you would drink the milk. Let's talk some more about the different parts of a food chain. Carnivores, such as lions and wolves, get the energy they need to survive by hunting and killing other animals. So carnivores, if you remember from our last lesson, are meat eaters. They are the predators in a food chain. So they prey on other animals. The animals that predators hunt and kill are the prey in a food chain. So look at the picture in this slide. What is the prey and what is the predator? So now that we've talked about food chains, we're going to continue into the second part of this lesson by talking about food webs. Food webs are similar, they're just a little bit more complex. Do you think it is possible for an ecosystem to have more than one food chain in it? If you said yes, you are correct. Not only does an ecosystem often contain many food chains, but some organisms are part of more than one food chain. All the food chains in a community make up a food web. What are some things that can affect a food web? In a food chain or web, each animal's survival depends on the survival of other organisms. Anything that changes the size of a population of living things affects a food web. For example, weather can affect a food web. Sometimes violent storms or wildfires damage plants. Without plants, herbivores have trouble finding food and must move to different areas to find food. The carnivores that eat them will also have to follow. So in addition to weather, there are other things that can impact a food web as well. Some changes to food chains or webs are caused by humans. Sometimes, for example, farmers use pesticides, which are chemicals that kill insects, to keep insects away from their crops. However, some pesticides are poisonous to the animals that live in that habitat. What would happen if the grasshopper in this food chain was killed off by pesticides? Oceans and rivers also contain food chains webs that are affected by people polluting. Dumping waste in oceans and rivers is harmful to the animals that live there. Animals that eat and drink from polluted water are harmed. Fish that swim in polluted water may die. People can also change food webs by overfishing. The fish caught in the net to the right were once prey to bigger fish. With fewer small fish, larger fish will have a harder time finding food. Their populations may get smaller and then affect other ocean populations that depend on them for food. Charlie! Come here! How come you're talking so much? Do you want to say hi? Speak! You say hi, class. Okay, hopefully that's enough barking from Charlie boy. let's go on. So deforestation is another way people affect food chains or webs. Deforestation is the clearing of a large area of trees. Insects, birds, and other animals depend on trees for food and shelter. When trees are cut down, many animals lose their habitats.